We are the Braxtons, and you'll see we are not like an ordinary family. Tracy to one, Trina, and s5e will teach you a thing or two. The Braxton Family Values.
Hey everybody, I'm back to talk about the latest episode of the Braxton Family Values. The biggest thing that happened in this episode was Gabe and Trina. And we're going to get into that in just a second. But first, let me just wrap up the other smaller things that happened in this episode. Okay, so the first thing is that at the end of last week's episode, Tony brought Birdman out on stage and it surprised the girls. And then after that, Tawanda and the girls had a surprise for Tony, and she was awarded the Phoenix, I think it's called the Phoenix Award in Atlanta, and she was also awarded a day. So that particular day is now Tony Braxton Day. Okay, good, great, wonderful. So they went out to dinner afterwards, and Tamar asked Tony about Birdman, like, what are y'all doing? Are y'all dating? And so she kind of just danced around the subject or whatever. And after they were done eating and they had dessert and everything, which was really nice, Birdman showed up. And he came in and he gave all the sisters, a little kiss on the cheek. And Tony left with him. Now, when I saw them leaving and they were holding hands, it looked sincere. I don't know, like, okay, in the last video that I did, I said I can't see it. I need to see them together. I just don't understand what they're doing together. But seeing them walking out of that restaurant holding hands, there was a type of chemistry there. And I kind of like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll get used to the idea of them being together. Maybe it's cute. I don't know. But anyway, Tony was correcting them every single time. One of the girls was like, he a rapper, da 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 da. She just stopped them and was like, he used to be a rapper. He's a mogul now. Okay, Tony, calm down, girl. I mean, he was a rapper. She tried to say, Tamar, ain't nobody calling you a background singer. That's what you used to be. But now, you ain't a background singer no more. And I'm like, okay, girl. Calm down. Ain't nobody trying to talk about your man. Calm down. But anyway, moving on along. So another thing that happened in this episode is Miss Evelyn got to walk in a fashion show. It was a fashion show that Tawanda was hosting. And so Miss Evelyn got to walk the runway. And y'all, why? At this fashion show, did Tamar, she sat there and ate Chick-fil-A and got mad that her little milkshake got knocked over. Like, really? And then look, she threw that little shade and she was like, well, I've had fashion shows, because I have a line and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, those are the ones that, you can't just be eating no Chick-fil-A at. But, I mean, this one, yeah, I can eat my Chick-fil-A here. Really? So, in other words, she was saying that that particular show was like low class, or it just wasn't up to par. It wasn't the type of event where she couldn't be sitting there eating Chick-fil-A. And also in this episode, Tamar talked about the new show that she was going to get with Steve Harvey. Do y'all think that show is really happening? Is that show really happening? I don't really know about that. I haven't heard any more about it. Y'all let me know. Drop it in the comments below. Did Tamar really get a show, or did that kind of fall through too? I don't know. Y'all let me know. So anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. And it is Gabe and Trina. So they go to her counselor slash therapist or whatever, and they have a conversation. So basically what they talked about was the fact that after the divorce, Gabe distanced himself from her sons. And she talked about how hurtful that was for the boys and also for her, because she didn't expect him to just up and leave out of their lives completely like that, to shut them out. She understood that he needed to be away from her, but she was not happy with the fact that he distanced himself away from the kids. And so, he kind of said, yeah, whatever. But the thing about it is, part of it was because she moved on and she met someone else. And so, in his mind, that justified him not being there. He felt as though if there was a man that was around, then he can just take up the slack and be, the man in their lives. Or he felt that she wanted that guy that she was dating to be the man in their lives, the father figure, which just was not the case. And she let him know, no, you are the one that helped raise them. They call you pops, and so they wanted you to be there. You should have been there. And he agreed, and he felt some kind of way about it, but okay. And I'm just kind of mixing two of the conversations together. The first conversation was with the therapist, and then the second conversation that they had was them two alone. So I'm just basically combining both of the conversations together, basically what they talked about. And so he also brought up the fact that, she actually cheated as well within their marriage. And because Trina kept saying, how you going to talk about, why do you keep bringing up my slip up when you had millions of them? And he said the thing that hurt him the most was that when she did step out on him, she gave some of her heart away. And that's what hurt him the most. He said because I guess he was trying to say if she had just slept with somebody and it was a little indiscretion, it would have felt better to him than her actually liking someone else and giving her heart away to someone else. And it kind of made him feel funny about it. And so I guess she just kind of looked at him and was like, well, whatever. You were sleeping with a million girls, and that's still not okay either. Either way. Something else that he mentioned was that he felt some type of way about her success because he was kind of a stay at home dad. He did a lot of the raising of the boys because Trina was off, singing with Tony and, working on her music career and, things like that. And so her professional life just kept elevating while his did as well, but it didn't do it at the same pace as hers. So that made him feel some kind of way. And I'm like, but that's your wife. And you're supporting her. That's a good thing. Her being successful is a good thing. And she didn't seem like the type that threw it in his face because at the same time, he's a businessman in his own right. He had his career popping too. So what, she was more successful a little bit faster than you. What's who cares? But that made him feel some type of way, and he expressed that, and Trina listened to him. So they had a lot of things. I wouldn't say that they're resolved, but at least now they kind of know where they stand and what their bigger issues are. And also, something that Gabe talked about was the fact that they didn't have any kids together. And he actually wanted kids in the beginning. And Trina said that she was done having kids. And he felt some kind of way about that. And he said that he shouldn't have just given up on that dream. He should have pushed harder for that because it was something that was really important to him. And he didn't, force it on Trina because he knew that that's not what she wanted to do. And so she told him, if I would have known that you felt that strongly about it, then we could have continued to have conversations because when they were talking about these things, she was still young and, able to have kids easily and all of that good stuff. And so, and why did Gabe, when she said, we could have talked about that back then, he was like, well, what's wrong with now? What you mean what's wrong with now? Y'all ain't together. Y'all just got divorced a little over a year ago. Y'all are learning how to be friends, how to be cordial with one another right now. And you talking about we can still have kids? Like that's not, like having kids is still on the table. Excuse me. What are you talking about, Gabe? Ain't nobody finna be laying up and having no babies with you. Not Trina. I I hope she don't, but I don't know. I don't know how. I really don't know how that's gonna go because I feel like here. Okay, here's a question. I'm gonna pose a question. Do you think that exes can still be friends? Now, me personally, I believe that it's possible, but both people have to be very mature, very clear about their boundaries and what is acceptable. Because, listen, you can't be friends with someone who you're still deeply in love with. It's just not possible. Because at any given moment, if that other person says, I want to be together, then you just gonna jump up and y'all gonna be together. That's not genuinely being friends. Okay? I mean, genuinely. You live your life, I live my life, and we just support each other through it. What I'm talking about is he can have a wife, she can have a husband. All four of them can get together and it's no drama, no mess, no nothing. I believe that that can happen, but it's rare. Very, very rare because there's always sometimes one of them who won't let the other one go. Who says they're, friends, but they won't let the other one go. And so I don't know. What do y'all think about it? I think it's possible, but it's a rare thing. I don't know. So that's everything that happened that was important in this episode of the Braxton Family Values. Please join the conversation with me. Tell me your thoughts and your ideas and what you think, is going on with Tamar and Trina and Gabe. And what do you think about Birdman and Tony Braxton dating? Let me know the info. And I'll see all of you in the next video, okay? Talk with you guys later. Bye.